Hello, brothers and sisters. Pro-life leader Frank Pavone here, bringing you my daily diary. What did I do each day? On Monday, the 10th of June, Tuesday, the 11th, Wednesday, the 12th, and Thursday, the 13th of June, 2024. These were days at the office when we had our pastoral team meeting. We have this meeting, if you follow my activities, every 6 weeks or so, and the team, which works in various different cities simultaneously, comes together and we do updating and planning. So Monday, those meetings began. We did I did some early work here at my desk, and that included things like trip plans for upcoming travels, communications with Sister Dee Dee, who many of you know. Commencements, well, it's been that time of year now, May and June, for different commencements, and I worked with my team to put together some of my past commencement speeches. I've spoken at a number of prestigious Catholic schools for their commencement, gotten some honorary degrees. So I wanted to put together a message for the class of 2024. Did some work on our pro-life essay contest that Preach for Life is sponsoring this year. Various preparations for broadcasting and also for going to the RNC convention in July. We had an extended meeting with staff in the morning, and then I had a meeting with our executive director and our director of street activism and youth outreach at 10 a.m., had another meeting at 11 a.m. with our international activities coordinator, and our executive director was in both of these meetings, going back and forth between these meetings, checking at my desk with emails and work like I just mentioned, and also checking in with various staff. Lunch in midday hour, and then at 2 o'clock, meeting with, again, our executive director and our Rachel's Vineyard coordinator. Then we had, at 2:30, I had our communications director and myself get on the phone with a podcaster to prepare for an interview for later in the week. And then when that meeting was over, I went right into the studio here to tape the Praying for America program. After which I did more work there at my desk and connecting with staff for end-of-day updates, one of which was at 6 p.m. with Mark from our administrative team, and we talked about end-of-day activities, projects. In the evening, I did things like signing of cards for donors and bishops, and more quiet work at my desk right until the time of going to bed. Tuesday, the 11th, started out early in the studio, and also had a 6:45 a.m. radio interview, which I did for about, I guess it went about 20 minutes or so. I had some breakfast, did some work at my desk, got ready for the staff meeting. Some of the desk work of today included approving a fax to go out to all the churches across the country, liturgical videos, work on making sure our resources are up to date online for the preaching on abortion that we encourage the clergy to do, organizing media interviews, giving approval for appeal letters, and preparing for the next leadership meeting that we coordinate with national pro-life leaders. 10 o'clock, I was back here in the studio and did a taping with Alveda King, one of our faithful team members. And prior to that, after the staff briefing at 8:30, which was, again, an extended briefing because we're having all these updates from the pastoral team, I then met with our executive director and with our correspondence associate, and we talked about the work that's being done for our election volunteers. You may be one of them. We have many election volunteers around the country that we're working on training and helping them get activated for the elections. The Alveda taping went well at 10. Then I had an administrative meeting at the conclusion of that. I guess from about 10:45 on, we had administrative meetings for some planning for activities for the coming months. And then at the conclusion of that, had a quick lunch, and then I had 3 tapings here in the studio starting at around 1:15 in the afternoon with our executive director for upcoming programs. So we taped one program after another, 3 different programs. And then at the conclusion of that, after a little break, I taped a 4th program for our Praying for America. And that brought us into the late afternoon. And then the rest of Tuesday was spent just quiet work in my office, catching up on things, preparing for the remaining meetings of the week, and the like, and signing cards again, birthday cards. Wednesday, the 12th of June, started off again with desk work covering topics like upcoming Face the Truth tours. This is when pro-life people hold the signs of abortion on the public sidewalks. So I'm giving support, of course, as I always do, to those efforts in various parts of the country that are coming up. Preparation for upcoming broadcasts, working with my team to make sure we have the latest contact information for members of Congress, and then working with my broadcast team to increase our presence on Rumble, a very important platform, a free speech platform. Let's see, I did some additional work with staff as we then began to have our meetings for the day, extended staff meetings. Let's see, we're talking about in the morning, updates from various ministries of our Priests for Life family, such as Dr. Teresa Burke. And she was on the call, of course, with us, founder of Rachel's Vineyard, and her husband Kevin, and the various people of Rachel's Vineyard gave their updates. So did Brian Kemper for youth and street activism activities. So those meetings went until about 9:15 or so. Let's see. We likewise then continued with the pastoral team, work at my desk first, and then pastoral team meeting at 10:30, where we talked about our monthly book reading. So this was a book by Dick Morris about the upcoming elections, and we talked about that at length with the pastoral team for about 45 minutes. After that, had some quick lunch and had to come back here in the studio at 2 o'clock for some more taping for our Praying for America program. And then our schedule continued in the afternoon with a 3 o'clock meeting of the entire team, the entire staff, and we got more reports from different branches of the ministry. I gave a report on my ongoing travels. And we also had people giving reports on the international activity of Priests for Life and the Washington, D.C. work, as well as our presence and activity in the media. So after that, I had, by that time it was late afternoon, I started receiving end-of-day updates from staff. I did more work at my desk. Had a quick dinner, and then at 8 p.m. had a live broadcast. I was on somebody else's podcast, and that went from 8 o'clock until about 9:30, 9:40. In the evening, it was live. We had interaction with the audience. It was really good. And that concluded the day on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, the 13th, while we had our various pastoral team meetings, I also had some doctor's appointments. Everything is great. These were just routine maintenance appointments, so to speak. And so I had to leave at about just before 6 in the morning to get over to the cardiology office, about an hour's drive from my office, just to get a routine exam, and did that at 7 in the morning. Came back to the office and engaged in the various pastoral team meetings. On the way back, I had to pick up something at the store. And then got on the phone, actually, while I was still in the latter part of that drive back, to get on with the first 8:30 a.m. meeting of my staff, in which we went over various activities of the different pastoral team members. Janet gave an update on Silent No More. And then we had a meeting with the team in regard to the articles that we write for the opinion pieces for different publications. We write a lot of those. I write a lot, our team does a lot, and we had a brainstorming session for the rest of the activities of the summer, what things could give rise to helpful educational articles on pro-life by members of our team. Once that finished, that's when I went into the store, got something that I needed, came back to the office, started working on various things at my desk, including preparation for the next leadership meeting of the national leaders, approval of an email blast to go out. Work on against this Amendment 4, the ballot initiative in Florida, and work on the various other states that are having these pro-abortion ballot measures, and also helping our staff prepare the next travelogue mailing, one of the mailings that goes out talking about our activities. 10 in the morning, our executive director and I met with Father Dennis, who has been one of the priests full-time on our staff. Then at 11, we met with Kevin Burke, who is the wife of Teresa Burke. They co-founded Rachel's Vineyard, so we got an update from him. I had lunch while having lunch at 12 o'clock, I had a phone call with the Chief Operating Officer of Right Side Broadcasting Networks, RSBN, on whose network we have our regular programs, Praying for America. After that, I had my regular, every few months now, I have a blood donation appointment. So 1 o'clock, right downtown, I went down to take care of that. Got back to my office, had a 2 o'clock meeting. Once I got back here, a phone call with one of our administrative team. And then some work at my desk, some other meetings with staff. And then I had to come in here at 4 o'clock to the studio to tape the Praying for America program. Went back, got some more end-of-day updates from staff, checked in with some additional people. And then at 9 p.m., after I had some dinner here and did some quiet work, 9 p.m., had a live broadcast for about an hour of the Good Shepherd Seminar. And that is, of course, the program that we use in order to train, encourage, and activate clergy. We did it right here from 9 to 10. After that, I had a late night phone call with a physician in California whom we are inviting to be on our medical advisory board, and you'll hear more about that once we announce it. And that, with that late phone call, brought the day to a close. Long day. My daily diary. Thank you for listening to it, and it expresses both my accountability to you and the love that I have for this work. I hope you love it too. Thanks for your involvement in our work. Let's work together even harder